Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retro Warriors episode 525. Woo! As always, I'm your host, Justin Baker, and as always, I'm joined by viable human Chris Saturn.
Yeah, hi, Justin.
I'm struggling through this intro. I don't know.
You almost made it all the way through. I was very impressed.
I can't speak. I can't not talk good. Yeah, we're here. We made it.
Yay.
We continue to exist. And
True.
This show continues to continue existing.
Based on chat from the pre-show, I happen to have the wiki for Maynard G. Krebs pulled up, and so I'm just staring at that picture now.
I like that the picture of him is 3 people, so unless you know what Maynard G. Krebs looks like, you would not know which one of them that is.
It's the one that's Gilligan.
No, I figured that out after you told me that that's Gilligan's name.
Yeah.
Because my dad loved Gilligan's Island. It was his favorite show, and I don't know why, because it's not a
It's not a great show.
No.
But it is, it was something to put on.
Yeah. Anyway, my week.
Yes, sir.
I'm still doing more network server stuff. I've got my NOS all set up. I set up a couple more servers, and I'm running Fresh RSS because I do get all my news from RSS feeds because I don't like using shit that harvests my data. But previously, do what?
Did you say how did you pronounce it?
Fresh RSS?
No. Your network storage.
NOS?
Okay.
NAS?
Yeah, I was just curious because I always said it NAS, and one of the guys at work always says NOS.
No, that one's.
He also always refers to a LAN port. It's a lawn port, and I'm like, no, lawn is the thing you mow.
I think he's the problem there in that particular.
I am certain he is, but I still wanted verification.
I think NAS is definitely the more accepted version. Yeah, guy says NOS is the shit you put in your car to make it go faster. No, it's just anyway. My server.
Yeah.
I set up Fresh RSS, so because I previously I checked all my RSS feeds on Cappy Reader on my phone, which is just an open source RSS reader with no accounts or anything.
Yeah.
But if I ever wanted to check news on something else and my phone wasn't in front of me, I couldn't do it. So now it all syncs with Fresh RSS, which is nice.
Nice.
I also set up a server called Audio Bookshelf. My wife has a ton of Audible books.
Yeah.
And we downloaded all of them when she quit Audible because Amazon kept fucking with it.
Sounds right.
And back then you could still do that. So we had this gigantic folder of audiobooks, and I was like, we don't have a way to listen to these other than just downloading them to your phone and putting them in an audiobook reader. And Audio Bookshelf is just that. It's kind of like Plex for audiobooks.
Nice.
But it also does regular ebooks, and it also does podcasts. And so now I can ditch Pocket Casts, which, is more than just a podcast reader. It's a whole platform, and you have an account, and they track metrics about you and presumably share it with third parties and all this stuff. And so now my podcasts download locally to my server, and then they're fed to my Audio Bookshelf app, and I can download them there or listen to them and stream them over the network or whatever, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I discovered that Audio Bookshelf also lets you make local RSS feeds out of any object in your library. So if I'm like, hey, Saturn, you and I are going to listen to this audiobook together, I can send you an RSS feed from me that is an RSS feed of that audiobook, and you can put it in any podcast player and listen to my audiobook, just like you could if you're at my house listening to the CD or whatever.
And then I'd tell you no. That I'm
right, yeah, you'd be like, no, I'm not going to listen to this. But Courtney was excited because she's like, oh, so if my book club wants to listen to an audiobook together, I can just send them this RSS. And I was like, yeah, and it splits all the chapters out into different episodes. It's really slick.
Yeah, the part that she's missing from that is she can just send them to the RSS, and then they will all say, what's an RSS? And then you'll have to explain it to them.
If she tells them, like, it's a podcast, it goes to your podcast app, they all know podcasts.
And then they'll say, well, I searched Apple Podcasts, and it's not there.
No, they know how to do it because they do, like, Patreon podcasts and stuff. They're all pretty big into podcasts.
Oh,
podcasts are a thing, Saturn. They're really popular, okay?
I guess.
And so she was like, well, that's really cool. And I was like, yeah. And then I went to show it to her. Pocket Casts will not let you add an RSS feed that they have not personally scraped.
See, there you go.
So for me to access my own personal RSS feed in Pocket Casts, I have to submit my personal IP address RSS feed to them and let them vet it before I can listen to my... And I was like, I didn't know that this was a bullshit app made by assholes.
Right.
If your podcast app does not take naked RSS feeds, and I thought it did this whole time, because every podcast I tried to add, they've already indexed.
Yeah.
And so
I will say that YouTube Music will just take whatever fuck RSS feed you feed it. They don't give a shit. Yeah.
I did not know that. Well, that's another thing I'm trying to get off of is YouTube Music. So
Right,
I'm
yeah.
on the Plexamp app, which is really nice for music.
Yeah.
I also, after that, started ripping my Godzilla Blu-rays, which has pretty much become my part-time job now. I'm a Blu-ray ripper, and this is what I do.
I
This is
did
my
that
life.
last year, so I understand.
Blu-ray ripping and transcoding. I am annoyed. I'm ripping my Criterion Godzilla collection because they Criterion just did Godzilla vs. Biollante on Blu-ray,
Yeah.
which is one of the hard to get ones.
Mhm.
Now there's only one Godzilla Blu-ray that I don't own. It's never been reissued, and it's like $200 on eBay. Which is the dual pack of Godzilla vs. Mothra in 1992 and Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in 1991, and they're impossible to get. But I was like, well, I've got all the Godzilla movies except for those, so I'll rip them. I rip all my Blu-rays, which weren't Criterion, and they ripped great. And my Criterion collection will not rip the third disc. It just won't fucking rip. Plays fine, won't rip. And I was talking to someone else in the Discord, and they're like, yeah, my third one won't rip either.
Weird.
It's something with the encryption or make
Maybe some
MKV
weird
or
DRM
something.
there, yeah.
And so I did end up downloading a backup of
Yeah,
those
of
ones.
the thing you
specifically.
purchased, yeah.
Yes, which
Which
feels
is frustrating.
It's so annoying. I'm so
Yep.
annoyed anytime I'm like, I'll just rip my disc and then transcode it to a reasonable file size. Oh no, fuck me. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I hate that.
But I've been learning a lot about transcoding video files and stuff like that, which is cool. Now when I see like pirated stuff and it's like H.264 and whatever, like I know what it is. Just neat. I also downloaded about a little over a half a terabyte of all of my pertinent and important to me GOG installer files.
Mhm. Yeah.
I used a utility called LGOG Downloader, which I was able to just run in a Docker container, and it downloaded all. I did learn this. GOG will start throttling you if you're downloading for too long.
Oh.
And so it took me 3 days to download all that stuff.
I downloaded my important GOG stuff, Silent Hill 2, Control, and the Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
And Silent Hill 4, I guess.
Yeah, no, they throttled me. And so it took some time, but I now have them, and it is surprisingly freeing to have a huge amount of GOG installers just on my server. I've installed a bunch of games, I've been playing stuff, and it's been
Nice.
it's been a good time. I will say I am annoyed that GOG does not have a way for you to just download offline installers.
Yeah.
And it's kind of alarming how much of a pain it is to do that.
I mean, you can still go through your library and download the offline installers for each one.
Sure, let me give you an example. The Witcher 3, pretty popular game. I own it on GOG. And I went and I was like, well, I'm getting throttled and running into this Docker's kind of weird, so I'll just download this one manually. And so you got to download the setup file, right,
Yep.
which is a couple megabytes. And then you need to
then
download
all the different
21,
ISOs. Yeah.
21 individual 4 gigabyte bin files
Yep. That's how
that you must click on and HTTP download. And I don't know if this only happens to me, but when you're downloading like 30 files at a time in Firefox, it's kind of a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, I had grabbed a file downloader like we used to use back in the day.
Yeah.
Just to manage my GOG downloads when I was downloading my
You
games.
have to. And so I'm a little annoyed that for their whole thing where it's DRM free and you own it and whatever, it's kind of a pain in the ass to get them.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to get them now in case the tide changes, and I don't think they'd take that ability away, but I could see them making it. If it's one more layer obscure, then I'm willing to go ahead and say that they're actively trying to keep me from downloading my shit.
Yeah.
Because between the like, it's just frustrating. Like, you should offer me an option that is all of it zipped together in one big file. I know it's going to be a huge file, but
Right.
like, come on, man.
Well, their option for that is to just use GOG Galaxy.
Yeah, but GOG Galaxy deletes the installer
Yep.
after you hit install. And I'll say this. What they need to do is give you an option to only download the installer in GOG Galaxy. So I can just
Right.
highlight 15 games, right-click, download installers. It's absurd that they don't have that.
Heroic can do it. It'll let
Can
you
it download
save your
just
installers.
installers?
Yeah,
Well,
it'll let you save the installers after you install. them.
yeah, you still got to install the game. A lot of these, like, I downloaded like 80 or 90 games. I don't want to install them all. I just
Right.
want to have the downloaders.
That's fair.
And so it's been an ordeal.
Yeah.
But just, yeah, I've been obsessively doing server stuff for hours and hours a day, every day, in the pursuit of the day that it's all perfect. and
Yeah.
everything is where it needs to be.
That'll
And I'm
never
sure
happen.
that'll happen for real one day. It really will.
Alternatively, it's in pursuit of the day when the internet all goes away and you're forced to do everything offline.
That's also true. That's
Yeah.
also true. Today my power flashed and all my stuff stayed up because it's all on UPS, and I was like,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
always the
it's,
best time. The first time that happens, that's just the best day.
And you're like,
Just-
I'll just keep watching television on my phone. Like it's. Anyway, what have you been doing?
Actually, I wanted to ask you real quick since you were talking about Godzilla.
Yes.
Did you have you seen Shelter 54 yet?
No, you sent it to me, and I have not watched it yet.
Okay.
I've been meaning to watch that. That was that horror film.
Yeah, it's a
Godzilla
found
fan
footage
film.
horror film made by fans about about Godzilla's reign and the creation of Biollante, and it's really good. It's really good.
Oh, how fun!
Anyway, so I was talking a couple weeks ago about my new laptop, and the CPU in it is the AMD Ryzen AI.
Right,
9.
I remember us making fun of the AI coprocessor.
And so I was like, if it's got the NPU in it, I should see if there's anything I can do to actually utilize the NPU.
Sure.
So I was looking at offline local LLMs, and I found this software called Olama, which is a offline LLM program. And so I downloaded that, and it lets you download whatever language model you want. But on their website, they've got several of them listed. Any of the ones that are available for free to the public.
Yeah.
So I downloaded DeepSeek, which is, I believe, made by the Chinese government, and therefore probably is based on my own information.
Both of those are. One of those is for sure true, and the other one is most likely true. Yes.
Yeah, and then also I downloaded Gemma, which is Google's freely available LLM. So it's almost certainly based on my personal information.
Right. That one is definitively. Yeah.
And so I was playing around with both of those, and Gemma gives very similar answers to Google's Gemini, but it only knows up through the end of last year.
Right, because it's offline.
Yeah, because it's offline. So if I try to ask it about anything more recent, it's like, I can't tell you unless you let me go online. But Olama doesn't seem to have an option to let it go online, which is good. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also tried DeepSeek, and for some reason, whenever you use DeepSeek on there, before it shows you the answer, it shows you the LLM's thought process.
I have seen this before. It's the first time you see it is a little alarming.
It's very unnerving because, and it's not just like the first question. It's each successive question you ask it. You're like, it'll say things like, oh, well, 3 or 4 questions ago, he asked me about this. So now I believe the user is probably tech savvy, but this question is still a little vague. So I wonder if he's looking for this. No, I should stick to the word of what he said and only answer this. And it's just very unnerving. I don't like it. And I think I've determined that I just don't like LLMs at all. I've not found a real good use case for any of them yet. And the few things that I've thought to ask it, I just watched it in real time hallucinate answers based on bad information.
I couldn't think of a use for an offline one, and the online ones, as you are illustrating, do collect and postulate huge amounts of information about the user. And the only thing I've found them useful for is my wife uses them sometimes to write emails when the only email she can write is "fuck you, why are you so stupid?" And she's like, I can't write that. I got to write something nicer.
Right.
So it helps her there.
Yeah.
And then I'll use it whenever, when you have one of those web searches where you have to put on site Reddit and then Google something because the answer to the thing you want only exists buried 3
in
Reddit comments deep.
Yeah.
And then it can usually dig those up faster than I can, so I don't got to scroll through 10 Reddit posts. There's only 2 actual uses I found for it.
Well, the thing is that I have 2 major complaints with LLMs. I have a lot of minor complaints, but my 2 major complaints are, one, it's all this stolen data and it's constantly accumulating more stolen data, as well as getting information from us and feeding it back and all that. And then the other major issue I have is how the resource draw, because it's uses up a
I was going to
shitload
ask,
of energy.
how does it annihilate your computer? Like, how is
so?
Because is this something you would be like, oh, maybe I'll run this on one of my servers or something and just have it as a thing, or is it too?
Well, I don't have any other computers that have an NPU, so it would have to use the GPU to do it on any other device.
Yeah.
But on my laptop where I'm running it, After 15 minutes or so of asking it, what I thought was fairly straightforward questions that it effectively mocked me for in its train of thought of,
right,
this
but
user
then
clearly doesn't
that.
understand how I work yet.
Yeah, this idiot.
So after 15, 20 minutes, that the temperature sensors on my laptop reported that it was well over 80 degrees Celsius.
Ooh, that's getting up there.
And it's an aluminum case, so it was really difficult to touch the laptop at that point.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I killed the process for it, it dropped below 60 degrees Celsius within a couple of seconds. So it is clearly using enough energy to greatly heat up my laptop at the very least. I tried it on my older laptop by plugging in a eGPU that was, a little beefier of a GPU, just to see how it handled it. And it ran much faster than it does on my laptop with its dedicated NPU. So clearly these things are still built first around GPUs and not around dedicated hardware. So, but yeah, I don't know that I have any specific use for it. It was interesting to play with, but the whole thing still makes me uncomfortable. Which makes me feel like an old man yelling at clouds, because I've always been tech positive and interested in new tech and new operating systems and new hardware. And so I feel like some old curmudgeon, but I just don't. I can't find
not
a good use for it.
I don't dislike the tech.
Right.
What I dislike is that, one, they call it AI. Two, they're selling it as general artificial intelligence.
Which is not.
And three, it's basically just an avenue to guzzle gargantuan amounts of user data back to corporations.
Get even more analytic data from
the
us.
tech itself, much like the tech behind cryptocurrency, is really cool. But it is used in a way that I do not agree with. So I don't know. I don't think that it makes you a Luddite to be like, I'm a little uncomfortable with this shit.
Well, that was part of what I wanted it for offline use for, was because that way a lot of the concerns I have with it are less.
Sure, you can play with it without worrying about like how much data is reporting.
Yeah. I mean, it's still using stolen data in the first place. We can't put that toothpaste back in the tube, but at least it's not reporting more information back. And it's not in some server farm that's being doused with water 24/7 just to, function.
Right. It's in your house where you're throwing water on your laptop to cool it off before it burns through the couch.
Where I'm just leaving my laptop in the fridge connected through a USB-C cable to a monitor.
It's been my upstairs AC struggles to keep up when it hits almost 110 in Texas, which is now through the next few weeks.
Yeah.
And I've been checking my server temps like every day, like, hold on, little buddy, a couple more weeks. It's hitting like a low 70s, so like I think I'm okay.
Yeah, my server is fortunately pretty cool. It only has an air cooler in it. My desktop has a water cooler, and it stays like right at 45 to 50 degrees Celsius all the time.
Yeah. Pretty good. Let's do some news.
Okay.
This show's about video games, after all, not just servers and LLMs. Nintendo has pushed a Switch 2 update for Super Mario 3D All-Stars years after delisting the game and making it unavailable for sale. So,
cool. If you happen to have already bought it, now it works better on Switch 2.
That one, for a while, even after they pulled it, didn't really go up in price. I imagine it's probably gone up now. But.
Oh, yeah, quite a bit. Even GameStop is selling it used in the like 200 plus range.
Oh my God, I'm gonna sell mine. Shit, man, I don't fucking like it that much.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Microsoft has killed its movies and TV store for Xbox and Windows without saying anything. There was no preamble, as far as I know. They were just like, "Yeah, fuck that thing," so it's gone now.
They are going to continue to allow people to watch their movies for the present. But this isn't the first time they've unceremoniously killed one of their online marketplaces. And the last time they said that they weren't going to take away any purchases until they quietly did, as soon as few enough people were using them that they didn't get the pushback.
Yeah, just a reminder, if it's not on a hard drive, you don't own it.
Yeah.
Just period. I mean,
if it's not in your hands, you don't own it.
Yeah. CED has announced 2 new models of the Fenrir ODE for Sega Saturn. A light model for $50, which, that's crazy, or 50 euros. That's crazy cheap compared to the other one. And an enhanced/improved version of the original, with more information on that one to come. So I'm really excited to see some more affordable ODE options. Yeah.
Right.
For the Saturn, which is really cool. My hope is that we're approaching like ODEs are one of those things that have been on the market for a while now, but they're still very often in the $300 plus range.
Right.
I know there are a few cheaper ones now, but I would love to see them become real cheap. That's what I would, but this seems to be doing that, so it's good to see.
Right.
Ubisoft releases a statement that they believe that microtransactions make games more fun for players.
How?
No, they don't have to tell you that. So
right. Yeah.
I shared a video in the chat, and I share this video in the chat anytime that
the Whalers video?
The Whalers video.
Yes.
And I wanted to mention that. It's called Let's Go Whaling, like a whale. Tricks for monetizing mobile game players with free to play. It's put out by Pocket Gamer Biz. It's 8 years old. If you've never seen this video, please go watch this video.
That's the one where they say that the socially acceptable way to play your game should be spending money or something.
Should be spending money, yeah. It's literally a guy that runs a company. I don't know. My whole point was, if you don't think these companies are investing time and money and resources into understanding your brain chemistry to trick you into doing things they want, then you are wrong. Because 8 years ago, they were celebrating that they were doing exactly that. And I think it's probably progressed since then.
Yeah, they are predators, and they are proud of it when they are among themselves.
So when they say more fun, I think what they mean is for them.
More fun for investors.
I guess, yeah. Conflicting statements from WayForward imply that they may not have been initially involved in Mod Retro's release of their GBC Sabrina the Teenage Witch game, though they've since said they're working with Mod Retro on the release. Kind of a weird... This is a weird release to begin with, because the game is $15 used on eBay. It's not...
Yeah. It's a cheap game.
It's a really cheap game put out by a company run by an arms dealer that may or may not have asked for permission. It's very bizarre.
Well, he seems to have asked for permission from Archie Comics, just not from WayForward, which WayForward didn't own the rights to.
I don't know that he would have to. No,
right.
No. It's all very weird. It's a very strange release and continues to be strange, but cool, I guess. Square Enix is at least temporarily closing access to new players on their most popular Final Fantasy XI server due to overpopulation 23 years after the game's initial release.
Man.
Oh, man. I think about 3 times a year, I think about going back to 11.
Yeah.
Because I did enjoy it. I don't know.
I tried to go back to it not that long ago when they did a free play weekend or whatever. And I don't remember at all how any of it works. Just roaming around was enough to make me overwhelmed and turn it off. It was nostalgic, though.
What I've learned about myself is I do like old, weird, antiquated MMOs.
It's true.
I'm learning this about myself in real time.
The most recent patches for Final Fantasy XIV have added a Final Fantasy XI themed raid. And it has a bunch of music from Final Fantasy XI, and that scratches those nostalgia itches for me without me having to relearn how to play Final Fantasy XI.
If I could get in the game and find people to chat with that would explain shit to me, I'll absolutely be all over it. That's what got me in EverQuest, is I get in the game and be like, I don't know what's happening, and people would, anyway. Where are we? Here we are. Atari and Namco are adding the 2600 ports of several of Namco's games to Atari 50. If you want to play some bad versions of
the worst versions of those games,
Namco games, and there you go, for posterity.
Yeah, they're so bad though.
3DS Virtual Boy emulator Red Viper has officially reached version 1.0. Coincidentally, we just talked about that.
Yeah. Well, we just happened to put out that episode like 2 days before the 30th anniversary of the Virtual Boy. Yeah, and so right after we did that episode is when this was announced.
Yeah, I need to download the new version and see what's up. Because,
also, it
was
supports,
already really good.
I believe it's this one supports colorizing the games now.
Oh, like full colorization, not just changing the color?
Yeah, it's based on the game, but they have some, like, the pictures that I showed Wario Land with some color. It's not like full color, but
right.
It's got some
3
color
colors
in there.
is something.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. A user has broken his Switch 2 by spray painting his Donkey Kong Bonanza cartridge yellow to match his DK64 and DK Land cartridges. Pro tip for everybody out there.
Yeah.
Paint is made of physical matter. It exists in 3D space. So if you put paint on something, it adds thickness to that object.
Also stickiness.
So, and stickiness, yeah. So for very low clearance objects, even a couple coats of paint can make it difficult to jam it into your Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like if he had peeled the label off, sanded it down, and airbrushed it real thin, maybe, but you can't just spray paint your cartridge.
Well, but he covered up the label first, so that part's still fine.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Microsoft has reversed course on their prior plan to charge $80 for The Outer Worlds 2. It will now only cost $70, which
only $70.
That's cool. I guess that's it's
I'm glad they took the public pressure. I'm glad that worked.
Glad. I'm also glad that public pressure.
I would prefer that they have not even floated the idea in the first place, though.
Yeah, I don't love this.
And really, 70 already feels high.
It does. I don't love this whole like, what if we do this? Okay, you don't like that. What if we do it again a couple years later?
Yeah.
While no one's paying attention.
Yeah.
It's just I don't like it. I don't like companies trying this like tactic of hyper normalization of outrageous things and then pulling it back, wanting to be praised for it, and then showing up with the same fucking package. I don't like that. But again, like you said, I think it was it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
The Switch 2 is officially the fastest selling console of all time with 1.6 million units in its launch month, beating out previous record holder PS4. So, cool.
The PS4 apparently sold 1.1 million.
Again, let's keep in mind this is fastest selling.
Yes. Not highest selling.
Not highest selling, fastest selling. And fastest selling is also one of those metrics that's extremely dependent on how fucking many units they can get out there to begin with.
Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to say this isn't an accomplishment. It is an accomplishment. Switch 2 seems to be doing really well.
Yeah.
But just to
which is weird because there's still like no major games announced for it.
You got Donkey Kong Bananas.
That's pretty much it.
You play that. You paint it yellow. Itch.io has followed Steam's lead in banning some adult content following protests from an Australian parents group and interference from payment processors. They came out after the fact and said that they actually had just delisted the stuff from certain areas of the marketplace. It's been a whole fiasco.
Yeah, they've since reinstated the ones that were free. So if there was no money involved, they're back up. And then they said that they're working now on a method to reinstate all of them. They're trying to work with the payment processors. There have been some mixed rumors and reports about other non-adult games being removed, but so far I haven't seen anything that fully verifies that.
I think it's a combination of one, Collective Shout. Someone put it really succinctly in the chat, and I don't know that I can regurgitate it accurately, but basically said something along the lines of Collective Shout seems like what they really want to do is get rid of any type of pornography and take any LGBTQ plus voices along with it.
Yep.
And that's kind of the vibe I get from what they're doing.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate.
But then they've already, like, what's confusing to me is what they claim to be trying to get rid of, Itch already had strong payment processor related rules about.
Yeah.
On their website, their guidelines say you can't include these certain things, and that's almost one-to-one the list that the Collective Shout says they're going after. Right. Itch already had guidelines against that, and Itch and Steam are both, they enforce those guidelines.
Yeah.
And so it's very bizarre.
Yeah.
It's just a series of overreactions and what seem like bad faith arguments from the group creating these reactions. So it's all just kind of a shit show.
Right.
And finally, Nintendo and Lego have revealed a Game Boy DMG Lego kit for only $59.99, which is pretty affordable in the realm of Lego.
Right? Yeah, that's dirt cheap for Lego.
I'm struggling not to pre-order this.
It's apparently a 1-to-1 size almost.
God, I'm struggling real hard not to pre-order this because it's just going to get built and then stuck on a shelf, and I'm just going to stare at it and be like, Lego. Like, there's no, I don't, I love building Lego. I just got done building a big Lego set. I've created an entire medieval diorama above my television with a castle and a dungeon and a village and also a Viking ship invading. It's a whole thing.
A beholder.
And there's a beholder. And my problem is I build these Lego sets and then I'm like, yeah. And then I set it on a shelf and I'm like, now I can never get rid of it ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I need more of that in my life.
Yeah.
Big space eaters that don't do anything and can't go anywhere.
Right.
Anyway, speaking of
Big
useless
space
stuff.
eaters.
Big space eaters. That brings us to our topic at hand, which is the Play It Loud.
Yes.
A history of Nintendo's stand against mothers who kept asking kids to turn down the dang volume. Play It Loud was Nintendo's marketing campaign. Ran approximately from mid-1994-ish, as best as I can tell, through around late 1996-ish.
Yeah.
As far as first encounters, this was the Nintendo I knew. 1994 for me was kindergarten.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know Nintendo marketing before the Play It Loud era. This was my introduction to who Nintendo was.
It was very different.
It was indeed very different. And I
Not
learned
always better.
For me, the trajectory of Nintendo was started in your face and loud and then slowly ramped it down. Whereas for someone like you, the trajectory is probably more kind of back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. Because for me, I remember early Nintendo ads, while they were clearly marketed towards kids, were still trying to be relatively clean and parent friendly. And then suddenly this came around and they decided to do the opposite.
Yeah, it's wild, and we're going to discuss it. As far as I do want to talk about the history of Nintendo advertising at this point, and Saturn, maybe you can talk more about this.
Sure.
But before this marketing campaign was a previous marketing campaign called The Best Play Here. I saw a little bit of it, and it's pretty
tame,
bland stuff.
Yeah.
It's just look, it's Nintendo stuff.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, and it didn't really land either. Nintendo's bigger marketing push was the Now You're Playing with Power. That was the big one prior to this.
Right.
And they labeled that on literally everything they had. It was NES, Game Boy was Portable Power, the Super NES was Super Power. Fortunately, it didn't last long enough to become Virtual Power because that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were
tame.
relatively tame. You had some weird stuff like that Dr. Mario commercial.
Sure, and the original Legend of Zelda commercial, there's some weirdness.
Yeah, well, that one was
there.
weird and goofy, but not like crass or anything.
Yeah,
or inappropriate.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to be talking a lot about crass and inappropriate here shortly. So, as far as the funding and launching of the Play It Loud campaign, it did coincide with the 6-year redesign of the original Game Boy that added new colors to the lineup: red, yellow, green, blue, black, white, and the best one, clear. That all kind of launched alongside the campaign.
Yeah.
Weirdly, a lot of the Play It Loud ads were absent from Nintendo Power. I scoured a lot of issues from 94 and 95 and found only the tamest Play It Loud ads.
Well, Nintendo Power itself is an advertisement, so they didn't need to load it with first-party Nintendo advertisements.
Sure, I just kind of was expecting kind of a vibe shift of like Nintendo Power generally being in your face right along with the ad campaign. It just kind of didn't happen. It was present in other magazines, which I did take screenshots of for us to look at. But it was very, I was kind of expecting a little more of a Play It Loud vibe from Nintendo Power, and it was just sort of business as usual for them.
Nintendo Power was still trying to keep parents on the good side because that was a monthly subscription. That wasn't
true. That's true.
That wasn't a one-time purchase, so they needed to keep the family on board for Nintendo Power.
Which is it's weird. It kind of flies in the face of the whole point of the Play It Loud campaign to begin with.
Well, the other gaming magazines seem to skew a little older, and so they were trying to put the ads that skewed older in the magazines that skewed older. That was always my theory.
Makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. I don't remember what all I went through. I went through EGM Game Fan and I think that might have been. I think it was EGM and Game Fan because in my head I was like, these seem
Tips
like
and Tricks also always had it. Of course, Tips
and
and Tricks was published by the same guy that published Hustler, so of course it was going to have the more crass ads in there.
The campaign itself was $10 million and farmed out to Leo Burnett USA. Leo Burnett is a long-running ad agency. They've been around since like the 1930s.
Yeah.
They're responsible for things like the Pillsbury Doughboy, Charlie the Tuna from the Starkist tuna cans, Jolly Green Giant, and helping Philip Morris market cigarettes more heavily to men. So
that's good.
Quite a Because according to what I read, at the time, cigarettes were seen as like a feminine product, like women smoked cigarettes, and they wanted to market cigarettes to men, and so they were partially responsible for characters such as the Marlboro Man,
right,
who was rough and tumble but still smoked cigarettes.
He didn't smoke cigars like at the time real men did.
Right. So they've got quite a history. They also worked on Nintendo's previous ad campaign, the Best Play Here advertising. And I found a quote. I dug through. It was referenced in Wikipedia, so I went and I found the article from the New York Times in 1994. And the ad manager at Nintendo, I think it was Nintendo of America, Don Coyer, said, quote, "It came through pretty loud and clear that while we did a good job in our advertising explaining what our games were about, we didn't do it in kids speak, but like an adult talking to a child." And he went on to talk about how they wanted that 15 to 16-year-old demographic.
Yeah.
Which was what they were after, and I think it shows with the product of their work. I hope you were able, because this is getting into the ads, and we're starting with the commercials. And as far as the scope,
I watched a 2-hour playlist of the ads last night.
There's no fucking way we can cover all these. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I just kind of picked a random assortment and focused on the weirder, notable ones I liked. Also, I tried to date them, but a lot of them are undated, or I found conflicting date information, so it's hard for me to tell if there's any trajectory to these.
Also, commercials often run for long spans of time, so it's hard to pinpoint when they start exactly.
Right. I was watching that Campbell's Soup commercial where that kid comes in, he's a snowman, but then he eats soup and it turns him into a regular kid because it warms him up. In the early 2000s. They've been airing that
commercial for at least 30 years now.
It's so old.
Yeah.
Also, there are some Sears air conditioning repair commercials that I watched many years after they were made. So yeah,
they're down to like one Sears store left.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Sears. I always hated Sears. I didn't like it. Anyway, let's get into the ads themselves. The first one, and I'm gonna give what information I can so people at home can look it up. I might do like a Google Drive folder with links to these and the print ads that we're going to look at later if people want to have reference material. If I think about it, if I didn't and you're listening to this and it's not in the description of
Just come to us on Discord, we'll post it.
Yeah, come poke me and I'll put it out for you.
Yeah.
The first one I watched was the Give the World a Wedgie ad.
Yep.
And this one I think was pretty early because that New York Times article mentioned it.
Yeah. And this one I don't actually remember seeing on TV.
It's so bizarre. First of all, it's playing a Butthole Surfers song.
Right.
And the song is Who Was in My Room Last Night, which is not the kid-friendliest song in the world.
No.
And it's played over a speech that's kind of like James Dean Rebel Without a Cause sounding speech of like, we want to do what we feel like and play games and be free. Like that kind of generic, sort of speech thing.
Right.
And I thought I was imagining this, so I didn't write it down. But then when I was reading the article about Play It Loud in that New York Times, and they were talking about this commercial, they mentioned it, so I added it because I thought it was my YouTube fucking up or just a bad conversion, because most of these are beyond low quality that you find on YouTube. But they talked about how there's a censor beep over the word hell in the ad.
Yeah, which took me off guard when I watched it. And I watched a higher quality rip of it than the one that you sent here.
Yeah.
But it still has that censor beep. It is jarring. I didn't know what word it was that they were censoring.
It was
hell. I had
hell.
to go back and look up the lyrics.
It was hell. But what gets me is I'm like, just don't include that part of the song. I mean, it's a 30-second commercial and it's a 2-minute song.
Or a different song.
Yeah, or a different song. I was reading, I think it was either that article or a different article from the 90s talking about this campaign. And they were, I can't remember how they phrased it. God, I should have wrote it down. But it was like, Nintendo's going after teenagers who like bands named stuff like Wet Nipple. And I was like, I don't know if this is a real band or if you're just if this is a joke. But this one's weird. It's very loud. It's very bright. It's very like punk rock. There's lots of teenagers doing teenager stuff, like holding big boom boxes and running around.
Yeah, stuff that we did as teenagers at the time.
Right, just held boom boxes and sprinted through grassy areas you weren't supposed to be on.
That's what we did back then.
But definitely in your face, really loud, really
Oh, yeah.
alarming. The only reason I can think they kept the sensor beep in is because it makes it kind of loud and
Slightly
distracting.
edgier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were,
It's like, oh,
were the,
we've got a naughty word in our ad.
were the Butthole Surfers big at all outside of Texas? I don't know.
I think Butthole Surfers were originally Canadian. They're a Canadian
No,
band, aren't
they're
they?
Texan.
Are they? I don't know why I
Yeah.
thought they were Canadian.
No, they're from Texas.
Well, yeah, I mean they're a big band. I mean they're triple platinum, so
Alright,
they're
good.
which I only know because of one joke speech from the show Community when someone makes fun of the Butthole Surfers and another person goes they go Butthole Surfers are triple platinum. Are you triple platinum? So presumably that's they're big enough. I was looking them up. They're they had a number one. Pepper hit number one on the billboards.
Yeah, Pepper
so,
was the big one.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought they were Canadian for some reason.
Mm.
Very strange. Anyway, yeah, big, bright, loud, in your face. Definitely play it loud. I'll give them that one. And it did the ad does say give the world a wedgie. It's got a few different pop-up things that say different stuff, and give the world a wedgie is one of the
that's the most bizarre thing that it suggests.
I found a Killer Instinct ad, which is
the
fucking wild.
The chainsaw. That one I do remember seeing on TV.
It's someone just literally chainsawing a Killer Instinct arcade cabinet in half.
Yeah.
And then they take out a Super Nintendo with the Killer Instinct cartridge in it. Like a
which
baby
was inside the
coming out
machine
of
the
it.
whole time. Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah, I remember seeing this like while watching Animaniacs or something at the time. So this was definitely on TV.
Yeah, this one pretty tame in the lineup of Play It Loud commercials, but still loud, in your face, kid chainsawing an arcade cabinet in half. You know, it's a lot different than the earlier stuff.
Yeah.
This one I know we talked about
did.
on the commercials episode. The Yoshi's Island 1995 commercial. It is a large man eating too much food with horrible smacking sounds. If you have misophonia, do not watch this commercial. While the narrator talks about how much Yoshi eats, and then the man explodes from eating too much food.
Yeah, they could have reused this exact same commercial for a Kirby game.
Absolutely. It's just literally a ripoff of that Meaning of Life, Monty Python's Meaning of Life, Mr. Creosote, skit. But somehow way grosser because he's like, it's the noises.
Yeah.
There's so much mouth noise in it, and he's in this like low rent diner.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's literally that skit, but what if you bought Yoshi afterward? Which is very
weird,
very alarming.
Yeah.
And it's gross. It's so gross. I like this one a lot. This is a Tetris 2 ad, 1995. Got a kid.
This was weird to me when it came out because Tetris 2 had already come out on NES and Game Boy the previous year. I already knew it was a boring game.
No,
they're still trying to
advertise
it as if it's super exciting.
It has a kid playing Tetris 2 while the narrator is describing how it's so radical that you'll get old, but the game never will. And as he's saying this, the kid sitting on the edge of a bed playing Tetris 2, is morphing into an old man, and then he dies.
Yeah.
And then
what you do when you play Tetris 2.
The kid fucking dies, and it shows you his tombstone, and his tombstone reads, "Played it loud."
For the record, I want my tombstone to read.
I want mine too, yeah. Everyone, this is on record. We want our tombstones to say "Played it loud," so everyone knows that we played it. Just the idea of like, what if we could have put a kid in our Tetris 2 commercial and he fucking died in the commercial?
Yeah.
His tombstone was like, "Played it loud," and someone else being like, "Yeah,
that's a pretty good idea.
That's good.
That's what Tetris 2 is like."
It's almost as good as Guy exploding in a diner.
Yeah.
Kirby's Dream Land 2 features a biker reading poetry about friends.
I
while
always liked
Kirby's
this commercial.
friends from the game beat the shit out of all the other bikers.
This one almost sold me on Kirby as a franchise.
This one's pretty funny.
I had not played the games before this one came out, and like I was already like kind of eye-rolly about Nintendo's edginess campaign.
Sure.
But then emulation happened, and I was able to download an NES ROM of Kirby's Adventure and try it as these ads are airing. I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty good.
This one's funny. Apparently, there's a more violent, unedited cut of it somewhere. But
you can find them both on YouTube.
Yeah. Next one is, of all games, Mario's Picross.
Yeah.
This is another masterpiece of grotesqueness. It's some kid's brain, and it has gotten so big that his entire head is bulging.
Yeah.
And he's got this like sinewy, pulsating brain head.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the words "play it loud" are engraved on the side of his throbbing skull.
Yeah, it's like spelled out in veins.
It's so nasty. And there's
Yeah,
some lady
gross.
there that's really into it.
It's weird because it's a good game, and I don't know what the fuck they're trying to say about it.
I think they're trying to say you're going to get laid and die from your brain crushing into your own skull.
You're going to die from the too much smart.
Yeah, that's it. You're going to get way too smart and it's going to kill you.
Yeah. As opposed to dying of old age from the other puzzle game.
There's the Game Boy Play It Loud. This is 1995 commercial. This is pretty tame for in-your-face 90s ads. It's just different people in various Game Boy color matching. So like there's a lady in green in a green room laying on a bed with green covers playing a green Game Boy, and she's got green lipstick or whatever. And then
I remember being really disturbed by one of them as a kid, and I don't remember which one.
Oh.
I just remember whenever this commercial came on, I was like, well, that person is unnerving and I don't like that.
It's just literally like, what if we made scenes that monochromatically matched the Game Boys being played in those scenes? Yeah. And it's probably the tamest ad here.
Yeah. But for some reason, something about it made me deeply disturbed as a kid.
Yeah.
Well, as a teenager, I guess.
Yeah. It's just
this is one of the only items on this list that I acquired during the campaign instead of years later. Was I got a clear Game Boy.
Well, there you go.
Because my Game Boy was broken.
There's Donkey Kong Country. This one was undated. This one's also pretty tame. I did find it interesting that it's one of the few times, because Sega had their, Sega does what Nintendo don't advertisement. And this was a rare instance of Nintendo explicitly calling out the competition.
Yeah. Well, the previous Best Play Here campaign was all about calling out the competition, and that wasn't working for them.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
but then it worked for Sega a few years later.
Right. Well, it had worked for Sega prior to that.
Yeah.
And so Nintendo had pivoted away, and Donkey Kong Country was finally something that they were proud enough of that they could, call out Sega again.
It literally just says you won't find it on Sega, which is kind of as confrontational as you get. Also broadly notes that it's not on 32X adapters or CD-ROM, which feels like it's also targeting the Sega, but also just kind of anyone doing 32-bit consoles and CD-ROM.
Which was just Sega by this point. Well, I guess CDI was still around.
Yeah. So, but mostly just them calling out Sega and intentionally every accessory Sega has for the Genesis one by one to be like, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there. It's here.
That was kind of a thing on the Playground Console Wars, was Nintendo fans were like, well, I don't have to buy a dozen accessories just to make my console not suck.
Sure, totally. So, yeah, I don't need a 32X to play Colibri and Knuckles Chowtix.
But Knuckles Chowtix is the best, Justin.
It is the best
it is the best 32X-based
Knuckles game. Yeah. Right up there with the best Hummingbird-based shooter on the 32X.
Colibri is the best Hummingbird shooter.
It's not wrong. There's the Play for Keeps commercial from 1994. It's just kind of general Super Nintendo game footage over someone getting video game related tattoos and generic rock music. I will say the opening tattoo does reveal that Samus is a lady. So if anyone didn't know that by 1994,
most of the ads for Metroid 2 and Super Metroid had already kind of revealed that.
Okay, I was curious when I saw it. I was like, I guess they had given up that. I mean, surely they had given it up, but how common knowledge was it? Pretty in the realm of video game tattoos. Pretty cool. Some pretty cool fake video game tattoos in this commercial. Yeah. I like that one. Okay, that was okay. This one was fucking weird. The two most bizarre ones I left for last, not on purpose, but Doctor in the Family. This opens with a nice lady saying how it's a parent's dream to have a doctor in the family. I didn't have a date on this one, but I know it was early because it was talked about in that article, I believe. Anyway, she's talking about how it would be nice to have a doctor in the family, and we're then told to go forth and thrash as rock music starts playing and kids start doing extreme sports.
Yeah, I do remember seeing this one on TV too.
out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And then we are instructed by on-screen text and screaming to crank it.
Yeah, this was my brother's favorite commercial when this started airing.
A Nintendo commercial instructed kids to crank it.
Yeah, every time this ad came on, my brother would say, "You cranking it yet?" And it was
in
funny
my
to
head,
him
I
every
was
single
like,
time.
surely the nomenclature of the phrase crank it must not have reached the point it's currently at in 1994 or whatever, but I think it had.
We were there. We were already there.
It was, God, I sent you.
Trust me, people have been cranking their hog since time immemorial.
I was listening to an old, makes me think of this. I was listening to an old 80s, I was on a 80s acid house kick.
I thought you were about to say just 80s acid.
I was on a bunch of 80s acid. Found it in a tub. I took all of it. So anyway, I was listening to a bunch of 80s like acid house music.
Okay.
And one of the comments on one of the YouTube videos I was listening to was someone that was like, yeah, I was there in 1984 and everyone was on the dance floor. And as soon as this song came on, everyone rushed to the dance floor and we were just out there jacking it. And I was like, hey, you guys want to go out to the dance floor and jack it?
What else are you going to do out on the dance floor?
I so badly wanted to comment and be like, I think that might have meant dancing in 1984. Running out somewhere and jacking it does not mean that today. You really should edit that comment, my bud.
Justin, you want to get all the guys together and go jack it on the dance floor?
I was gonna, but I was already gonna go skateboarding and crank it. So I don't know if I can also jack it on the dance floor on the same day. I don't want to get dehydrated, get strenuous activities and stuff.
Yeah.
It was just, as soon as it said, I was sitting by myself in my living room watching fucking video game commercials, and it was like, crank it! And I was like, oh no! Don't crank it! And then finally, the weirdest one.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking disturbing nightmare fuel opens.
I think this was hilarious.
It's a woman, a blonde woman, scantily clad in high heels and leather pants. Her back is to us, and she's on a jukebox, sensuously like gyrating to the music on this jukebox. And you're like, all right, this is surprisingly sexual for a Nintendo ad. And it keeps cutting to a guy on a motorcycle, presumably riding toward this woman.
Yeah.
That's what you assume. And eventually it pans up, and the guy on the motorcycle is a gorilla.
Yeah.
And it cuts back to the woman, and she whips around, and she's a gorilla woman.
Well, she's got a chimpanzee face.
Chimpanzee woman.
Yeah.
And that's the ad by Donkey Kong 3.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I have the weirdest memory of seeing this while watching a syndicated rerun of Coach. Don't know why.
All right. It's just fucking weird. Like, that's not what's her name, Kong from DKC3? Because she's a little
Trixie Kong.
That's not Trixie Kong. She's a child. No. God, I hope it's not.
Yeah.
And then that's not Diddy Kong or Donkey Kong. They're just random gorilla
Diddy
people.
and Donkey weren't in Donkey Kong Country 3. You had Kiddy Kong.
Oh, yeah, that was Kiddy Kong. It's not Kiddy Kong. It's just
definitely not Kiddy Kong.
Generic monkey
peoples
that get on a motorcycle together. It's very sexual. It's very weird.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah, this one and also, this was late enough in this campaign that I was already desensitized to Nintendo trying to act edgy.
Do weird shit, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever. This is just Nintendo trying to act like they're not the company that makes Kirby.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I was like, it got me. I'll say that. It took me by surprise. I was like, this is very sexual. And then she whipped around and I was like, oh my God.
Did you watch the Wario Blast one?
No, I know you have a few more listed here that you wanted to go over that I missed. I did not.
I listed some, but I'm not going to go over all of them. But I did want to mention the Wario Blast one because it's animated Wario making out with a bomb.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he's talking about how he's found this tool that's going to help him take out Bomberman, and it's just a cartoon bomb. And then it shows some footage of the game, and then he starts like kissing it and telling it how much he loves it.
Oh, I take it back. I don't know that the dancing one is the most sexual ad anymore. I think that might take they're in competition.
Yeah, it is a strange
one. Between Wario Blast, the sexy chimpanzee lady, and getting told to crank it, I'm not sure.
We're getting some mixed messages from mid-90s Nintendo here.
I'm not sure how to feel about any of this.
Yeah, it was but I just always found that one kind of funny. It's just Wario making out with a bomb for some fucking reason.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
Let's go over some print ads. I have them in a folder here. So I'll just tell you, I'm just going to start at the top with 1.jpg. I gave up numbering them near the bottom, so just put them in name order and then
I'm just gonna open them up in the photo viewer and then just scroll through them.
So number one here, this is the kind of the traditional ad for Play It Loud, which is multicolor Game Boys. It's got three people, and it's got a guy with yellow hair with a yellow Game Boy, and a guy with green hair and a green Game Boy, and then a lady with no hair, and she has a clear Game Boy because none is clear, I guess.
Yeah, and this was still during the era where any bald woman was either called G.I. Jane or Sinead O'Connor. You had to make one of those two references.
That's not good.
Nope, it is not.
That's not very nice at all.
Nope.
And that dovetails into the next ad, which is the expanded version of this ad, which adds a person with black hair and a black Game Boy, and a lady with red hair and a red Game Boy.
Yeah.
And I do like that it says play it black, play it red, play it yellow, play it green, then play it clear on the final one. But this is... Go ahead.
The people with the black hair and the red hair seem relatively tame and normal. Those are just some regular people with Game Boys on their heads for some reason. Whereas the rest of them feel like they are more animated up a bit.
Now, this was a Nintendo Power ad contest that they did. So you have to choose your favorite Game Boy color and tell the world why it rocks. And
I
10
wanted the
winners.
Black Game Boy so bad.
Really? It was always clear for me. I also like I'm partial to yellow. I like the yellow and the green one too. Yeah. 10 winners will have their art in Nintendo Power. And that's it. It says all you have to do is make us an ad. With that $10 million wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking do it.
Yeah.
You gotta do it now.
And then we'll print your email address in a magazine.
But there's power stamps. So if you send in a color Game Boy ad, the first 500 entrants will receive 4 Super Power Supplies stamps.
Yep. I remember that.
So there you go. The next one, I believe this one was also from Nintendo Power. This one's a classic.
This one also came with the Super NES. I've got the full-size poster of this.
Oh, did it? I did not realize that.
The reverse side is how to hook up your Super Nintendo.
This is Play It Loud. It's got Donkey Kong and it's got very unnerving Ridley art down in the corner.
That's from the cover of the U.S. cover of Super Metroid.
I've just never seen it so big.
Yeah,
and it's just a kind of generic, brain-numbing power. Feel the pain. Play it loud. Radical text all over.
I like that. Feel the pain is just pointing at a picture of Bear Hugger from Super Punch Out.
I do like. There's one that says obviously cool stuff. And it's next to Tetris
2.
So there you go. Obviously cool stuff.
Well, I mean, it's between Tetris 2 and Ken Griffey Jr., so one of those two things is obviously cool.
They do have a weird acronym here. ACM, Advanced Computer Modeling. I'm guessing, was that an actual acronym they used for Donkey Kong Country?
That was part of the marketing for Donkey Kong Country.
That is a stupid acronym. That is very dumb.
That's how they referred to their pre-rendered CGI.
Moving into the next ad here. This one.
Yeah, this is a foreign one. This is not from the U.S.
Yeah, this is not a U.S. one. But then it does say Game Boy Special Edition down on the bottom.
Yeah.
In Special Edition is in English.
Yeah.
But it's a person and the head is shaved, but they've got what looks like a little
horse brush,
a little brush tied to their head to look like a mohawk.
Yeah.
And it says Pia Color.
I also can't tell if those are fake lips or if they have painted their lips blue.
Their lips are blue.
It seems that they're hanging from their ear.
So the brush is red, the background is yellow, the glasses are white, their skin is red,
red,
their jacket is black, their lips are blue. I see no clear represented in this.
No, no, because white and clear are separate. You can't see the clear. We're looking through the clear.
Right. She's behind a pane of glass.
Yeah, there you go. Is that a woman?
It's a person. I know that.
It's a person.
It's I just liked this ad. It was just very weird.
Is that a tea bag or a price tag hanging from their ear?
I think it's a price tag. I wasn't sure about that either.
Because it looked like there's something in it at the bottom.
Oh, it does look. I didn't notice that between the Game Boys. It looks like it does look like some teas in there. Why is there a tea bag tied behind their ear?
I don't know.
I do like that in the bottom right corner it shows a picture of 4 batteries.
Yeah. Well, it's because it includes them.
Which didn't it take more than 4?
No, it took 4 batteries.
Was it 4? I don't know why in my head that was. I think I'm thinking of Game Gear. Game Gear was 6.
Game Gear is like 14, but Game Boy was 4.
The next ad here. This one I took from a magazine. This is the only angry Kirby I will accept. And it says he used to be such a good boy, and it's a fucking mugshot of Kirby, and he's got a 5 o'clock shadow, and he looks pissed.
He's got one of those little cross cartoon bandages.
Yeah, this is a good one. It's got all this writing in here. Sad. One day you're cute and cuddly. The next you're burying your opponents and spitting on your enemies.
Yeah.
And then it's advertising for Kirby's Avalanche and Kirby's Dream Course.
Yeah,
which even in the realm of Kirby games are pretty light and breezy.
Yeah.
So it's just a little ridiculous. But I like it. I like this one.
Ad. It's adorable.
The next one here is
this is also
disturbing.
from Nintendo Europe.
This is disturbing. It has got a woman,
and this is post-play allowed too.
In like a nightie, and she's tied to a bed.
Yeah.
With the bed is stripped of covers. It's just a fitted sheet.
Yeah.
And she's tied to this bed, and she doesn't look like she wants to be there.
No.
And at the bottom it just says the new Game Boy Pocket, seriously distracting.
Yeah, this one was a couple years after Play It Loud ended, but it
fits the vibe.
Yeah,
it fits the vibe. This would have been, what would this have been? 97,
98, 99 in that area.
Was Pocket
97, 98.
No.
Sorry,
I was thinking it would have been 97, 98. So it would have been right on the tail end to Play It Loud. The question is if they'd even launched a new marketing campaign or not. So would this be lumped in with this or the next one? And I don't know.
Well, because Play It Loud was exclusively a U.S. campaign, and this was from UK.
So they just didn't have that campaign at all for this ad. But it's still the same vibe, I think, and they still have the same radical Play It Loud text at the bottom. Right. So I include it because it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Speaking of disturbing and weird.
Oh yeah, I remember.
This next one here is it's a tribal gentleman.
Yeah,
and it says, "If these aren't the coolest graphics, my name isn't Yawiga Kanawi."
This is also a foreign one.
Is this one foreign? I couldn't tell. I thought it might have been, but I wasn't sure.
When you look at the Nintendo hotline at the bottom, that is not a U.S. format phone number.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. This one was also, it was in the Play It Loud era using a Play It Loud Game Boy. So it was still an ad from Nintendo.
But I feel like there was a U.S. version of this ad because I remember seeing
I thought I had remembered seeing it too, and this was the only one I could find. But it's not a good look. It's not awesome. It feels
this is
crass.
aged almost as poorly as the Dr. Mario commercial.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The next one here is gross and disturbing. And also I don't know if it was
this definitely aired in the US.
Yeah, this one
was
I know was
Play It Loud.
I know it was US, but it was after Play It Loud, but I still think before their next marketing campaign had kicked off.
Yeah, before they had anything official.
And it feels very Play It Loud, so I put it in here because it was for the different colored Game Boy Pockets.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of tongues. And they're different colored tongues, and there's a yellow tongue and a white tongue and a black tongue, and what's supposed to be a clear one because you can see the veins.
Yeah,
it's just gross.
Yeah.
The next one here, Stunt Race FX.
Yeah,
this is definitely staunch Play It Loud era.
Oh yeah,
and it says the only thing you have to lose playing Stunt Race FX, and it's got a picture of a surprisingly hearty looking American school lunch.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was a school lunch or a prison lunch. Could be both.
Yeah, it could be both. I think the milk gives it away. I don't know that they serve little cartons of milk in prison. I like to think
they might not
do.
have metal utensils in prison as well.
I didn't have metal utensils in school, so I
me either.
Fuck if I
know.
Actually,
no, yeah, we did. We had metal utensils in school.
No, it was plastic and then styrofoam trays every day, and they all went right in the trash.
Oh yeah, we had to put ours in the cleaning thing.
Oh no, my daughter's the same way. It's just right in the trash every day. Huge amounts of school trash.
Yeah, we had plastic trays. We had metal utensils.
It says, "Hold on to your Salisbury steak. This is going to be the wildest ride since Aunt Bert used to drive you to swim class."
Aunt Bert.
Aunt Bert. I do want to identify the foods in this ad. This is Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes. It's got some brown gravy on it. You got some green peas and then a jello square of some sort. I am disturbed that the silverware, the cutlery is all facing the wrong direction because you would consume that tray from the meat side.
Right.
Just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Next one here is another staunch Play It Loud era.
Oh, yeah.
This one says, "Blisters, anyone? Introducing 6 new Scorchers for the Super NES," and it's someone with gargantuanly swollen, bandaged thumbs that seem to be steaming from the heat.
Yeah. That's what happens when you play Super Nintendo.
It was, this one. Not as gross as the tongues, but gross.
Yeah,
still gross,
and not really anything particularly edgy game wise listed here. We got Donkey Kong Country, Tetris 2, Stunt Race FX, Uniracers, Illusion of Gaia, and Super Punch Out. And then all those are relatively tame.
They got Play It Loud branded Band-Aids at the bottom.
Yeah.
Next one here, another Play It Loud. This one's cute. Donkey Kong Country. You won't believe it either, and it's got a gorilla, but he's got superimposed cartoon. Googly eyes over his face like he's so shocked. And then the first line of this ad, because all these Play It Louds ads had big, long blocks of text.
Right.
It says, "Hold on to your banana." Yeah. And so we're told to crank it and hold on to our bananas by Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what to think anymore.
Oh, I think you know exactly what to think about that.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah.
I think I do. Next one here is a Play It Loud Space Invaders ad.
Yep.
Which is super tame.
Yeah.
It has a guy squished at the bottom and it says, "Prepare to have your space invaded."
Well, his eyes are blown up first and then he is squished.
Yeah. And they've got a Space Invaders cartridge in a vise.
Yeah.
And a Game Boy in a vise. And I don't know.
I always wanted one of these Game Boys that they only ever showed in commercials and didn't exist in real life that had giant Game Boy text on it.
Right. It is weird. Like, first of all, you think they would just put it on the fucking Game Boy. I mean, it's why not? But yeah, it is kind of strange. I do like that they have one of the invaders on like what looks like a little steamroller at the top, hand drawn.
That's pretty adorable.
Cute. That's a cute little thing. Next one here.
Oh yeah,
was it's a classic. There were a few of these. But this is the Earthbound ad. This one says, comes with more rude smells than the old pull my finger joke.
Yep.
Which was an alternative to the classic "This game stinks."
Yes.
Which didn't say Play It Loud on it, but it was Play It Loud.
No, it was definitely that era and that vibe.
Yeah. So I don't know what. Again, another one of these ones that was of the era. I'm not sure was properly part of that campaign. Yeah. Because it does have some distinct differences.
Right.
But was still that vibe from Nintendo. I mean, at the end of the day, like, what is or isn't part of their marketing campaign is kind of secondary to the fact that they were, as a company, targeting that teenage demographic with all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of the point of it.
Yeah.
And then I think this is my final one here. Yeah.
Don't like that.
Keep your trigger finger warm. You're going to need it. And it is a zoomed in picture of a kid with his thumb jammed entirely up his nose.
Yeah. It is nearly the size of a second nose at that point.
I could not include this one. This one is, again, specifically Play It Loud. In the bottom right corner, you see someone doing little finger guns, and it says Play It Loud, and it's written in the smoke coming off of their thumb.
Their charred thumb.
Their charred thumb. So presumably, he's burning his thumb and then jamming it entirely up his nose.
And all of the games advertised here are Atari-era games.
Yeah. No, it's all old arcade stuff. My favorite part is how serious he looks.
Yeah.
He's dead fucking serious about you seeing him jam his thumb entirely and completely up his nose.
God.
It's
And there were a lot more than these.
If you find that your finger has gotten sticky, that's a bonus.
Ugh.
You'll get a better grip on the trigger and a better chance at surviving the arcade classics.
I don't like any of that.
Gross. Gross, Nintendo.
Ugh.
That's nasty.
Mm.
Which concludes my print ads that I put together and asked you not to look at before the show so that you could be pleasantly surprised at them. And I think we were culturally offended, personally offended, and grossed out. So,
so good job, Nintendo.
Kind of everything Nintendo was going for. Culture and insensitivity, personal insensitivity, and making you just feel gross. And I think they've achieved it with these ads. As far as reception, I wasn't there, so you'll have to tell me about it.
Well, as someone who was there and was in the prime demo for this stuff, because I would have been 12 to 15 years old.
Right, I was too young for it. I would have seen them and just dismissed it.
And I thought it was eye-rolly the whole time. I was just not at all interested. Granted, other people my age may have been more interested than I was.
Sure, some of these are pretty funny, pretty good.
But no, I was already a Nintendo fan, so they didn't have to sell me on anything. And if anything, it made me, kind of embarrassed to be a fan of some of this stuff. Also, most of the kids my age that I knew at the time still saw Nintendo as the lame baby company and saw Sega and Sony as the company that, were made for older kids. So this ad campaign didn't seem to really change the opinion of the key demo, at least in my experience. I never saw anyone of our age group who saw these kinds of ads and were like, oh, maybe Nintendo is a big boy company now. No, they still saw them as the baby company. And by the time they started to wean off of this ad, they were introducing Pokemon, and that didn't help that image at all. So
it is interesting to be here now where Nintendo seems, especially in the Switch era, very much like, no. We're the kid company. We're for kids. We're kid first. Everything we make is designed kid first. We will enforce draconian practices under the guise of it being kid friendly.
But also only adults in our ads, and then they're going to take their Switch to a rooftop party.
Yeah, it's strange to see the sanitized version of them now, and then look back on them showing kids jamming their thumbs up their nose and telling us to crank it.
Yeah.
And so it's very strange to see them come kind of full circle from coming out on the market and being like, no, we have to be a toy company. No one wants video games. To no, we need to tell people to fucking crank it. No, we don't want anybody cranking it. Please don't joke about cranking it or you'll get banned and we'll delete your Switch 2 library or whatever.
Well, now they tell you to jork it.
Right. Everyone's into jorking it now. You got to get out on the dance floor and jerk it. It is as far as legacy, there were a few ad campaigns. I don't know that any of them reached the ridiculousness of the Play It Loud campaign. I think this was pretty...
Probably not, no.
They kind of...
They've had some raunchy ads over the years.
Yeah, they've gotten close to it, especially in non-US territories where, things are a little looser.
Right.
But yeah, they've never really quite reached these heights of like, no, we need to push into this next demographic.
They never told us to crank the Wii.
Right. They had so many opportunities with the Wii.
Yeah.
Really, the Wii felt a lot like kind of prime sanitization Nintendo. Yes. Like, no, we're super everything's white and clean and perfect, and corners are rounded off, and everything's for kids and families and fun.
No
and
edgy rock music. We're just going to have well-dressed Japanese men come to your home and introduce a remote to you.
Yeah, and that the success they saw from that has continued to today, so they've not stopped doing it. And I mean, judging by Switch 2 sales, I don't know that I'd fucking blame them.
Right.
But yeah, it's one of those things. As far as final thoughts, these are weird and gross and strange, and some are offensive. And I kind of like the rough, uneven edges of this strange era of advertising.
And I mean, it wasn't just Nintendo.
Sure, no, that's what I mean. Everyone at this time was like, it was Play It Loud across America at the time.
Yeah, it was just funny to see how quickly Nintendo leaned into it. as opposed to some other more family-friendly companies. Like you didn't see Disney trying to play it loud.
Right. Absolutely. Disney wasn't doing much of fucking anything in the mid-90s except hanging on for dear life.
Or they had The Lion King.
That's true. Lion King really kind of brought them back. That was
they were doing fine in the mid-90s. Not amazing. Not as well as they are now, but they were doing fine.
Sure. I don't mean to imply they were like about to shut down, but they
early 2000s when they were almost bought by Comcast.
Getting a lot of direct to VHS sequels in that era.
Yeah, those were all garbage.
I kind of miss that. I kind of wish they would do direct to home video like Marvel movies now.
Oh, they do direct to streaming Marvel series.
Yeah, but they're series. I want the low rent B movie.
Yeah.
I want the Aladdin 3 for the Avengers, whatever that fucking looks like is what
it looks like that game Square Enix put out a few years ago. That's what it looks like.
Anyway, God, it would, wouldn't it? It was interesting to look back on this. I've seen a lot of these before, but some of these were fresh to me. And it's neat to see anytime we look back at Nintendo taking risks, because this ad campaign was a risk,
Yeah.
Financially, they spent $10 million on it. If it went over poorly, that's $10 million down the drain. In the market, they were in a tough spot, in the early 90s when they were like, shit, there's a lot of competition cropping up.
Yeah.
So to see companies taking risks like this, back when they could afford to take risks was nice, back before all of these corporations were too big to fail,
It is weird how much effort they put into specifically the weird and gross out ads on their tamest games.
Right? I think I can't explain it. I can't even begin. Yeah. I just have to assume that it's because those were the games they wanted to push to the new demographic, because the cool looking games kids would already play. So they're like, no, we need to get 15-year-olds playing Kirby games. That's what we need.
We can be relatively tame when we advertise Killer Instinct. We really got to push Tetris 2.
Right. We need to kill a kid for Tetris 2 and show his tombstone. He played it loud, Saturn.
Well, that kid actually did die making that commercial.
Oh my God.
That was a violent aging process.
Well, you know who else played it loud? All of our patrons. At patreon.com/RetroWarriors, where you can get uncut versions of this show. You can get our spin-off show, Talking Wizards. You can get Retro Warriors Read Along, where we read old game magazines. And you can get our eternal gratitude that will outlast every star in the sky.
Our last patron name is completely destroyed on the list.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll open the spreadsheet and I'll do that one. Yeah. We do want to thank the following patrons after I get all of their names.
Do you want me to start so that you can end on that one?
No. I got it. We're on 525. It's right here. That's how it is in my thing.
Can you look it up on the patron where it's correct?
I can do that.
I just don't want to ruin somebody's name.
I know. I feel bad. Right? It's okay. Nobody's listening to this.
Yeah, that's fine.
They all tuned out. They all tuned out after my transition. They're like, I don't want to listen to Justin fucking
butcher my name.
This is too much. All right, hold on. I'm gonna go right here. Come on, internet. Do your thing. Do your stuff.
We're going to do a whole episode where we just talk about visual things that people can't see, and then we're going to stall for time.
All right, I got it. Right, we want to thank the following patrons, starting with Sean S.
And Thomas J. of San Jose.
STG the Mr. Guy.
And Rich Kennedy.
Mike Zepix.
The Coffee Samurai.
Sean Schaller.
George McBain.
Framoon. And I'll do the last one. It's Pavel Zielinski, I think, is correct. I think I got that correct. If I did, then you're welcome.
Yeah, I hope.
If I didn't,
sorry.
Oops.
It's Justin's fault.
It's my fault. Anyway, hopefully next episode will be less gross.
Yeah.
This one was.
It can't be more gross, can it?
I don't know. We're gonna find out, I guess. We're gonna find out.
So anyway, next week is Booger Man.
Yeah, but Booger Man, and I was trying to think of another gross out game. I can't. I'm drawing a blank. It's just
something
Booger Man.
About butts or poop.
Yeah, Booger Man and Butts and Poop. That's good.
It's a sequel to Nuts and Milk.
We have to end the show because I'm not going to top that. We'll be back next week. Thank you for listening. And as always, let us cling together.